Hi everyone, this is Greg Arnett with CloudTruth. This screencast is a brief overview on how we help teams increase release velocity and reliability with a configuration sync hub. CloudTruth is innovating in configuration management by introducing a secrets and config control plane to tame config sprawl that is the hidden friction and toil affecting release velocity. Our self-service platform allows you to dynamically inject perfect config into all build, deploy, and runtime phases in your SDLC. On the left is the current state where many teams struggle to manage secrets and config at scale using internal tools that become brittle over time. On the right is CloudTruth Sync Hub with the ability to integrate with your existing parameter and secret stores and format config data for Kubernetes, Terraform, CI/CD, and runtime. Let's take a look at the four main areas where CloudTruth helps increase release velocity and reliability. The first place we help is managing the provisioning config for all your environments. Think of this as the method to manage your infrastructure as code inputs, such as TFRs. We're opinionated in that we believe keeping your config dry, which means don't repeat yourself, by using defaults, inheritances, and overrides as the best way to ensure all environments are provisioned perfectly. Here we're showing a typical dev, staging, and production setup and a hierarchy that allows child environments to inherit values and settings from their parent environments, and you could have trackable, selectable overrides to keep track of everything so that all environments are provisioned perfectly. Next, let's look at application and project config. Similar to environments, we use a hierarchy to ensure all applications are configured properly and to allow you to use as many default or inherited values as possible. This simplifies configuration immensely. Here we have a simple microservices structure, and I'll be using the backend project for this overview. Environment and project config are the first two dimensions where config starts to sprawl at scale. One of our core beliefs is to consolidate config complexity into a single system, which allows all the config consumers to be as simple as possible for easier troubleshooting and faster to deploy results. Our third area of functionality is a top-down cross-cutting view of all your secrets and config in one location. Our input integrations allow you to leave your config where it is already or move the data into CloudTruth. This allows for easier adoption of our functionality. Here you can see the backend project config. Inherited values from projects higher in the tree allow you to use common settings where needed, but you can have trackable overrides. You can also view different perspectives by environment. Here we're looking at the staging values, but I can easily select the production environment and check out their values for introspection. So here we go. So we can see our different production values here for this particular project. One benefit of a sync hub is to be able to compare settings across multiple environments. This is useful for troubleshooting and deploy from staging to prod. Often misconfiguration is what's causing the failure. CloudTruth becomes your X-ray vision for all your config data in one place. Another benefit of a secrets control plane is a history of all config changes in one place. This is useful to troubleshoot a production outage where you need immediate access to all recent changes. Within CloudTruth, you can compare current values for a project versus a release tag or a specific date and time. You can also choose which environment that you want to inspect the configuration changes for. CloudTruth allows you to put guardrails around config data with type checking, rules, and ranging. Here we have a specific parameter view, our cluster size parameter for this project. And with CloudTruth, you can implement configuration data type checking by enforcing a certain type, either a custom type or one of the ones we provide. And you can also put rules and ranges. So for this example, I don't want a cluster size less than 2 nodes or greater than 20 nodes. This allows the DevOps team to set up the guardrails and then give self-service access to other team members so they can make changes, but the guardrails prevent self-inflicted harm. Now let's look at the output side of the platform. We call this templating. Here are templates for the backend project. Templates can also be inherited from other projects for simplicity. Since this project has been deployed to Kubernetes, we have a config map example. On the top is the template editor, and the bottom is the preview for each environment. Currently, production is displayed. Now let's see what the view of the staging environment would be for this particular template. So the system is now calculating defaults, inheritance, and overrides for all the configuration settings for this template. Templates are fetched using the CloudTruth CLI, API, our Kubernetes operator, or any of our other client. Wrapping up, let's view the platform-wide audit trail, which records all actions for who, what, when reporting. This is useful for compliance, and it's easy to export and upload to a SIM. We also provide a fine-grained role-based access control system with SAML and a workflow action system for easily importing and synchronizing config data to other locations. Thanks for your interest in CloudTruth. There's a free forever edition, and think of CloudTruth as your one place to manage all secrets and config across build, deploy, and runtime phases.